Yeah, no, hold on a second. Hey everyone, it's me, Gamer Geek. I know this isn't normally how these videos go, but I just want to take a second before we got into the video to address a few things. I've been working on the Flash game for a long while now, and it's insane when I look back and realize that it's been almost 4 years since I started working on this project. We've come a long way since then, and the game has developed a lot, but I recognize the time it's taken for us to get here. 4 years is a long time, and there have obviously been a lot of times where I've planned for release dates that didn't pan out. I just wanted to take a second before this video got going to say that I've seen the comments and I get the frustration that some people from the community feel when they say they've given up on hoping for this game's eventual release. But that's why I wanted to clear things up now before we got further into the video. The game isn't dead, and I've never stopped working on it. Yes, development has been slow at times, and things have been reworked a lot. But that's unfortunately how development goes. It's not an easy process, and it takes time. As the sole developer of this fan game, I can assure you that this game will eventually release. Yes, it will take time, and I apologize if anyone is disappointed by the fact, but unfortunately, that's how it is. Ask anyone making a Flash fan game or just a video game in general, and they'll tell you it's a long and tedious process to make something actually worth playing. But as a content creator, I should have conveyed my process to you guys more clearly in my video so as to not potentially mislead people who now feel disappointed by the game taking too long. I never worked on a project this big before, and I should have been more realistic in my videos about how long I would need to work on the game. So to everyone in the community who is still with me after all this time, I can't thank you enough for sticking with me through these past almost 4 years, and I appreciate your support and the views. To everyone who gave up or has their doubts about this game, hopefully this can put you at ease and reassure you that this game is happening. Slowly maybe, but it is happening. Moving forward, I'll be dedicating more time to the game and these videos to put out better content for you all consistently so everyone can have a clear idea of what's happening with development and not be confused or discouraged by how long things are taking. That means more development, better videos, better Gamer Geek, the whole shebang. So with that out of the way, let's get this going. What's going on everybody, it's me Gamer Geek, and today I have another awesome developer vlog update for you guys. I said over on Discord that I was working on something special for you guys, and I meant it. I've been working on the game's mechanics for a long time now. A long time. And I'm going to be finally releasing videos of completed gameplay moving forward. That's right, I'm finally starting to move past those rough videos of figuring things out to polished videos of actually finished scenes and gameplay scenarios. Does that mean the game is finished? Hell no, I still have a ton of work to do to polish everything and make sure it all functions correctly together, but this is a major turning point for the game since this means developer vlog updates from here on out will be focused more on implementing finished products into the game rather than trying to develop mechanics from scratch. But that's not all. If I was just announcing that the videos are getting better, that'd be kinda lame. No, I'm also going to be releasing a playable section of the game after a series of videos over on Patreon for supporters to get their hands on the game early to get a feel for the controls and the mechanics. Let me explain. So I recently started working on the tutorial section of the game and decided to showcase the process of implementing it as a focus for a series of videos. For the sake of these videos, I divided the tutorial into smaller parts, with each one being its own video so you guys can follow along and see how everything is put together and what to expect from the finished tutorial. The different parts are basic controls and navigation, open world mechanics, different game modes, some combat mechanics, boss combat. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that one, I'm sure it's fine. With each video, you'll see the whole process of implementing finished features, any modeling work that needs to be done for each section, and a detailed breakdown of how implemented game mechanics function, as well as how their controls are laid out for each mechanic. By the end of this series, you should have a pretty good idea of how the game would work and how it will control once you get your hands on it. Also, as mentioned, the finished tutorial will be uploaded over on Patreon so people can experience it for themselves and have a decent idea of how the full game will play once it gets released. Does that mean the finished tutorial will only be available through Patreon? No, of course not. It will eventually be released publicly as well. So if you aren't a Patreon member and don't want to be one, don't worry, because you still be able to get your hands on the tutorial after a while. Just takes patience. But anyways guys, that's all I have for you now, and I'll see you all in the next one. Nah, I'm just kidding. That'd be stupid to cut the video here. I doubt anyone fell for that, but imagine there being like a few comments down below about the video sucks for ending so abruptly. That'd be hilarious. No, we're not done yet. No, I have some other stuff to show you. So the tutorial, just to give some context, takes place in Star Labs initially. The script doesn't specify anything for the tutorial section of the game, so I was free to do whatever I wanted with it. Going off the original idea of Gideon being the one to teach the player the controls, I scripted my own little event at Star Labs where Wally interacts with Gideon in the time vault before testing his abilities in a simulation. Obviously that never happened in the show, but hey, I had to inject some video games shenanigans in here to make it all flow well. Modeling the time vault was a lot of fun because it's very plain, but it has very specific details that you'll need to pay attention to. The design on the walls in particular was very interesting to recreate over in Blender because the spheres don't seem to follow any kind of pattern that I could see. What I ended up doing was creating the room itself first and then adding the spheres as a separate mesh. Once the spheres were in, I went row by row and deleted some while looking at a reference picture from the show to make sure I got as accurate as possible. Once the walls were done, the rest of the time vault was pretty easy to manage given how empty it was, with the exception of the reverse flash suit display at one end of the room. The suit display was the part that took the longest for me because it's such a unique part of the room. The shape of it, all the minor details, the different parts, it was a lot at the beginning and I was confused where to start with it. But once I got really into it, I found my groove and managed to pull off a decent recreation, I think. The weirdest part to make was the walls of the display with the weird cylinder cutouts on each side. First of all, what even are those? Did they explain it in the show? I don't remember. But I managed to remake them by creating the cylinder parts with the red inserts first and then connecting their edges together to make the wall section of the suit display. A little funky to do in practice, but hey, it worked. With the time vault room finished, all that was left was the cherry on top, the door. Everyone remembers how freaking cool the time vault door is, how the wall just splits apart into all those little pieces that all randomly retract and open up to the room. It was so cool in the show. The door was a lot of fun to make. I made the little rectangle bit and duplicated it a ton of times to make enough to cover the doorway. Then I added bones to each one so I could pull them all individually and animate them. To animate the door opening, I randomly selected the bones in 3 different groups and opened them at different intervals to get the same effect as from the show. And with that, I had a finished time vault. I exported it over to Unreal Engine and made sure to set the door up so that we could freely interact with it for when the player wanders in here during the free roam sections of the game. I also made sure to grab a floating head, change the texture to a holographic blue, and slap it in there to give us our new Gideon. I hope you guys are excited and definitely tune in for my next video where you'll see the first major section of the tutorial get added to the game. I really hope you guys like this series of videos and that you're excited for the finished tutorial once the series is over. Let me know what you think of it and what you think of the newly added time vault and Gideon in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video and want to stick with me as I continue developing this game, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button to help the channel grow. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.